At DiscountJuicers.com today with another exciting episode for you, and what we're going to do today is Battle of the Juicers. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to compare the Breville Juice Fountain Elite to the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer. Now both these juicers are unique in that they have a large 3-inch wide feed chute. So what happens on the feed chute is this means that you have to cut the produce less, to juice in these juicers. But that's where the differences end. These juices are very different in their operation. The Breville is what's called the centrifugal ejection style juicer, and it's the most popular juicer that's available today at department stores and all this kind of stuff. And the Breville is not so much different than some of the standard department store juicers you would buy. How it works, it has a little grating disc that you put the produce in there. The produce is basically micro shred, and the pulp gets kicked out into the hopper in the back. And then the juice gets flung through these micro holes in the screen, and the juice comes out in the front. This juicing technology has been around for, 30, 40 years now. Long time on the centrifugal ejection style machines. With every juicer, there's always pros and cons, and you guys need to weigh out the pros and cons and figure out which juicer is the best for you. Of course, I have my favorite juicers and the juicers that's best for me. And the juicer that may be best for me might not be the one best for you, and that's why I make these videos comparing juicers side by side so that you guys can determine the best juicer for you. And then, and I do this at no cost to you, but I would encourage and let you guys know to support me and my work at DiscountJuicers.com when you are ready to purchase a juicer. So, that's how this machine works. It runs very fast. The RPMs like 12,000 plus RPMs, that stands for revolutions per minute. That's how fast it spins, and that's no surprise that it spins very fast because it's been described to me as an airplane taking off in the kitchen. So this style of juicer is very efficient at juicing things like hard vegetables, carrots and beets. Phenomenal job. Nice hard and firm fruits, decent job. Leafy greens, quite poor job in my opinion and based on my testing. Another thing, because it is running so fast, some companies may lead you to believe that it generates heat. In my testing, this is actually false, so centrifugal ejection juicers do not produce heat. What they do produce is aeration, and a lot of it. Basically, as it's spinning around every revolution, man, it's injecting air into the juice, and as you see when we're done, we're going to get an aerated juice when we're finished. The air basically causes the nutrients in the juice to break down and be less, in my opinion. And I guess the other thing about the Breville, this unit is approximately about $100 less than the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer, which is good. But the bad thing is it only allows you to juice. This is only designed as a juicer. It does not have multi-functions like the Kuvings over here. And in addition, this machine has a really short 1-year warranty, which I think a juicer should be an investment, and when you're spending a couple $100s on an appliance, it should have a good warranty, not just a 1-year warranty. The Kuvings, on the other hand, has a full 10-year warranty, so you're assured for the next 10 years you're going to be able to have a juicer, to get these fresh fruits and vegetables in you so that you can get healthy, because that's what it's all about. I want you guys to get away from highly processed foods, animal foods, things in packages, bottles, and jars, and get to eating more fresh fruits and vegetables. I don't care if you become a crazy vegan, vegetarian, raw foods, whatever you want to call it. Just eat more fruits and vegetables than the next guy, and in my opinion, you'll be healthier because of it. I've sold juices to thousands of people around the country, and they report back to me that they've lost weight, have more energy, and some even report that they've gotten rid of some of their diseases and their aches and pains by simply adding fresh juices into their diet and minimizing the other foods they're eating. So yes, a juicer is an investment. Most important thing you got, your health. And I want you guys to take your health seriously, and by including fruits and vegetables, my opinion, once again, doing this about 20 years, you will be healthier. Alright, so that's the Breville over on this side. Next, let's go over on this side. We got the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer, and this works a little bit differently as it does still have that 3-inch wide feed chute. This has no fast spinning blades. This actually has a slow running auger. This runs at a slow 60 revolutions per minute, so that's multitude slower than the fast cutting disc over there. Another cool thing about this auger, because it basically crushes and squeeze the juice out. There's no teeth that are wearing out. There's no teeth that are going to become dull like your knife in your kitchen. We've all picked up that knife in the kitchen and you try to slice with it and it doesn't slice that good. Well, the same thing happens to the Breville teeth, and guess what? The juicing blade is not a warranty part on the Breville, and when they wear out, you need to buy another one. And what Breville doesn't tell you, they could cost up to $50. When you got to buy a new one, that's a good percentage of what the juicer costs, right? And it's like having to buy tires for your car when they wear out. Well, imagine if you had a car that never wore out the tires. Well, that's like buying the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer. The auger will never wear out because it doesn't wear. It just basically is in there and it smashes and squeezes out the juice. The next part to the Kuvings is the juicing screen. Much like the screen in the Breville, there's holes, and once the produce is squeezed down, the juice comes out the sides and the pulp gets ejected out the bottom. In addition, to ensure that you get the highest amount of yields and it's easier to clean, they have a special automatic wiping blade. This is like the windshield wipers on your car. Would you drive your car without windshield wipers when it's raining? Of course not. And you might not want to have a juicer without a screen cleaner either, to keep the screen clean, to increase your yields, and to just ensure your juicer is going to work great. Finally, we just have the standard juicing bowl. On the juicing bowl, the juice comes out the front. You can put this little flap down, which actually stops and prevents drips on your counter when you're done juicing. It also allows you to do mixing in the bowl, which is cool. And the pulp comes out this side. One thing I want you guys to note is on the bottom there's a little flap here. You can just pull this out. It's a silicone flap, food grade, and you're going to want to make sure that flap is pushed in every time you juice. It's the job of this flap. It's like the gatekeeper, right? The sentry man. And this sentry man basically keeps the pulp in the machine until it gets fully wrung out, and then and only then will let it come out, so you're getting a dry pulp with a lot of extraction. And you will want to remove this during cleaning. Let's go ahead and put these guys together. Those are the basics of these machines. Once again, pros and cons. This one runs slower, this one runs faster. This one's going to juice a lot quicker, so if you got to be out the door in 2-3 minutes, you'll be able to juice and be done because it runs so fast, but it's oxidizing your juice, higher. In addition, depending on what produce you're juicing, this juicer or this juicer may get a higher yield. In my opinion, in most cases, this juicer, of course, is going to get the highest nutrition if that's what's really important to you. Now, the thing that I didn't talk about is that this juicer, besides just making the juices, whereas the Breville will only make the juices, this juicer will also allow you to make your own frozen fruit sorbets. So, for example, you would take bananas, put frozen bananas through the machine, what's called a included blank attachment inside here. Basically just mashes up the banana into the frozen fruit sorbet consistency that you may have had as a kid. Now, I encourage you guys to get off and stop eating ice cream and minimize your consumption of ice cream, basically due to all the chemicals that they're putting in these days. I mean, genetically modified, corn syrup, monodiglycerides, food colorings. I mean, all these words that you can't pronounce. I want you guys to eat things that you know what it is, and things without ingredient labels. And 100% bananas put through the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer will basically give you something like ice cream, tastes like ice cream, nice and cold like ice cream, nice and sweet like ice cream, without all those additives that, in my opinion, can hurt your health. In addition, you can put other fruits through here as well. Another thing you could process in the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer is you can make your own nut butter. So peanut butter, another really bad offender with all kinds of additives in there and extra added corn syrup and sugars and all this stuff. You can just take roasted peanuts, put it through here with the blank plate. Once again, make 100% peanut butter made in your own home. If you do use other nuts, you will want to use roasted nuts. They have a higher oil content. If you use raw nuts, it'll basically make a flour in which you will have to add some oil to get it to stick and congeal, back together. Another thing you can do with this machine is you can also make nut milks with it. So if you want to get off the dairy, in my opinion, dairy is not necessary. We don't need to really drink dairy. There's no nutrients in dairy that we need. And actually, a recent study said that drinking milk could actually shorten your life. So that's actually on Fox News the other day. So that's pretty amazing. But yeah, so we want to drink nut milks, in my opinion, much better. Coconut milk is my favorite. You could also make things like almond milk. I have a video actually on making almond milk in the Kuvings Whole Juicer, as well as other juices. So, I mean, those are the pros and cons. I have other videos comparing these two machines if you want to see me juicing, I don't know, apples or leafy greens in these two machines. But today what we're going to juice are the pineapples. Pineapples are a delicious fruit, And I prefer to juice my pineapples in the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer because they make it easy and it runs at a low RPM. In a recent test I did in a presentation at a retreat center I gave, I juiced watermelon in the Breville and watermelon in a slow juicer like the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer, and I handed it out to people. 30 people taste tested it, and I asked people, which one did you prefer more? And everybody chose the juice made in the slow juicer over the one with the high speed. I mean, you could just taste the difference. So anyways, with that, let's get set up and get into this juice off. So now we're gonna go ahead, do the weigh-in on the cut pineapple. Now, I always encourage you guys when juicing pineapple is to remove the skin. If you do have an organic pineapple, you can juice the skin, although it'll make the flavor not quite as sweet. So I'm removing the skin, a lot easier to juice. We're gonna make sure we got a fair fight here and show you guys the scale to show you guys that we have the exact same amounts on both pineapples. All right, so here on the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer side, looks like we've got 2.514 pounds. And over here on the Breville side, once again, we got 2.514 pounds. So it looks like we got a fair fight. Let's get ready to rumble. So now that we got a fair fight, we're gonna go ahead and start to juice. I think I'm gonna juice in the Breville Juice Fountain Elite first. The Breville does actually have two speeds, a low and a high. For the fruits, you're supposed to use the low. For hard vegetables, you're supposed to use the high. So we're gonna take this pineapple here, and the pineapple will not just fit in one piece, so we're just gonna basically probably cut it into some pieces here that will fit nice and easily into the machine, probably into quarters, I believe. And once we got that all cut, then we're gonna go ahead and turn the juicer on and jam it through. All right, so here's a tip I really want to give you guys. So all the pulp basically goes into the collection bin. To make cleaning easier, so you have one less thing to clean, you want to take just a plastic bag, like a produce bag, and then line the catch bin with your produce bag. And this way all the pulp will go in the produce bag so that you don't have to clean out the pulp catch bin. Make one less step for you. Now, I do encourage you guys to compost all the pulp that your juicer makes. There are other things you can do, like facial mask and dehydrate the pulp and even put it into baked goods, eat it as a salad. I have one friend that does that, but minimally compost it and instead of throwing it away. One of the things I believe is in nature there is no such thing as waste, and man is creating a lot of waste. I'm thinking of all the things that go to the garbage, the landfill each and every day, when we could be reusing, especially the organic matter, to grow gardens, plant gardens, and live more ecologically on the planet. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and turn this machine on to the low speed. Click that up once, low speed. This is the low speed. It's still pretty loud. Let's go ahead and click that on the high speed so you guys can hear the difference. It's a lot faster, like an airplane taking off in your kitchen. Let's go ahead and click it to off, put it on the low speed. A lot more, quiet there. A lot more silent. And the one thing you're going to want to do, because these do have large feed chutes, and I can fit my hand in there, which you should never do, and especially if you have kids, you will want to supervise them very closely. With any large feed chute juicer, they all have warnings, do not stick fingers down there, and you should not stick your fingers down there either. You should only ever use the pusher. Don't try to use a knife, a fork, a spatula, anything other than the pusher. You will likely damage the juicer and damage whatever you're putting in the machine. All right, so let's go ahead and take a piece of that pineapple and just push that in. As you guys can see, we're instantly getting some nice white, yellow, frothy juice come out. There's one piece down. This piece is a little bit too big. We're gonna have to cut that down a little bit more. Piece number 2. Piece number 3. Piece number 4. Finally, piece number 5. Alright, that works fairly well. Let's go ahead and turn that guy off. Next, let's go ahead and juice in the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer. Now, it's very important when using the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer or any other vertical slow juicer is to cut the pineapple properly. The hardest part of the pineapple, the juicer will have to juice is the hard fibrous core. So basically I'm cutting a tic-tac-toe pattern around the core, and I'll be able to feed in all the pieces around the core with no problem whatsoever. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut the core up into smaller pieces, and we'll feed that in actually last. So let's go ahead and turn the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer on. Once again, in the Kuvings, you're only going to want to use the pusher, but one of the things I like about the Kuvings is that it's literally auto-feeding. We could just drop a piece of pineapple in there. It literally accepts it in, brings it in, crushes it up, squeeze the juice out, and if you notice, right, there's not all that white foam coming out like on the Breville. What you're seeing there is basically the oxidation occurring and oxygen in, or air in the juice. This is working very well, very easily, nice and slow, quiet on the ears. I mean, might be a tad bit slower than the Breville, but it's not that much slower, and it's working really good. I really like that it's auto feeding, that I really don't have to use the pusher for the most part to get the things in there. It allows me to do cutting while basically just you know, dropping things in. All right. Wow, actually, looks like I put the core piece in a little bit early. So yeah, I mean, it still looks like it's working really good. Right on through, as you guys can see, the pulp is coming out this side of the machine. One of the important things to note on any slow juicers, you always want to pay attention to the pulp coming out of the machine. It should be constantly flowing out of the machine. If it stops flowing, then something may be stuck in the machine, and you may need to stop it and see what's going on. You know, I do encourage you guys on any vertical slow juicers to check my videos on the make and model of the juicer for the best practices or how to use it properly video that I've made, because each of these slow juicers, you have to do specific things to get the best results. So it looks like we may need to use the pusher to get the last little bit into the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer. Now, on the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer, oftentimes you will notice some pulp on the top of the machine that did not get juiced, and this is just the nature of the beast. This is what happens sometimes. So I guess we can't really push the rest in, we'll just leave it like that. And I guess the next thing, let's go ahead and clear up this table and see which juicer will reign supreme in this juice off yield test. All right, now let's go ahead and move these guys aside, close that flap on the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer, move these guys right next to each other, and wow, this is totally amazing. I want to do a close-up on this for you guys so you guys can see, you know, side by side how much each of these juicers made, because it's actually quite interesting. All right, so check it out. Over on the Breville side, you know, as you guys can see, it looks like it made about 8 ounces of juice, and then it made a bunch of foam on up to about 6 ounces of juice approximately. Wow, you know, that's pretty decent. But, and once again, you know, I want you guys to notice, we got the juice layer here on the bottom, and then we got a big, huge foam layer. I mean, it looks like it's made like more foam than actually juice. Once again, this is the oxidation that's occurring to the juice. It's going to break down faster. Over on the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer side, looks like we got about 6 cups of juice overall, and yes, we did get some foam, you know, about 1/3 the amount of foam as the Breville did. Wow, and look at the color difference. I mean, which one of these juices would you rather drink? All right, so as you guys can see, the juices look different, and you know, I'm gonna have to declare the winner. The winner I'm gonna declare in this juice off battle between the wide feed chute juicers, of course, is the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer. Ding, 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 ding. It made more juice, made less foam, you know, worked more silently, has more features, will allow you to do more than just juice. It also has a longer warranty by 9 extra years. I mean, I don't know why anybody would want to buy a Breville Juice Fountain except for the fact that it is a little bit faster. But you guys saw the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer was not, you know, that much slower than the Breville. All right, so the next thing, of course, taste test, very important. I'm gonna go ahead and pour this guy out. Look at that nice, vibrant color on the pineapple juice. I mean, this is like way better than that canned or bottled stuff you guys used to get. Now, I always want to encourage you guys to make your own juices fresh, because when you're buying canned or bottled juices, it's been heat pasteurized and you lose a lot of nutrition in there. Let me go ahead and show you guys these. Okay, so Here's the juice made in the Breville. Here's the juice made in the Kuvings. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I can. The juice in the Kuvings is a lot more dark and rich tasting. So, you know, actually, today on the show, I got a special guest. We got my brother here to do the taste test.
Hey, John, welcome.
What's up, man?
Good to see you. Good to see you.
So,
Today.
you know, my brother doesn't often drink juices. He has a juicer at home. He doesn't use it, but he gets juices when he comes over to my place, and we're gonna get him to taste test. So, here's the juice out of the Breville Juice Fountain. So, drink it and tell everybody what you think of it.
It tastes kind of airy, and I taste a little bit of pulp. Yeah.
Oh, you taste pulp. All right.
Yeah.
Let's taste that one.
Very pure, sweet, just like a pineapple should taste.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that sounds good. Well, I'm gonna have to get going because I want to be able to drink. Look at that.
I want some more of this. This is good. Give me some hydration for the gym.
All right, so I mean, I've done taste tests before with high speed versus slow juicers, and you know, more people, in my opinion, pick the slow juice over the high speed juice. And if you're considering buying a juicer, I would consider and encourage you guys to buy a low speed juicer. You know, the Kuvings with its wide feed chute makes juicing easy, and one of the things I like about the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer comes with a 100-page recipe book full of recipes and different things you can make to start eating and including more fresh fruits in your diet so that you can be healthier starting tomorrow by making changes in what you're eating today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. To buy the Breville Juice Fountain Elite or the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer, be sure to visit discountjuicers.com. Once again, my name is John Kohler with discountjuicers.com, and be sure to visit discountjuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors. Alright, this is John Kohler with discountjuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and what we're going to do is we're going to answer a question I've been getting a lot lately. It's, John, what's the difference between the Omega VSJ843Q and the Omega?
I mean, this tastes better than canned Dole, like I get at the nightclub where I work at. You know, I drink pineapple juice in the middle of the night, but you know, get a little boost, but much better.